Discipline over motivation is one of the greatest habits that can change your life forever. We live in a world where people are constantly chasing motivation. They want to feel inspired. They want to hear the right words. They want the spark that ignites their hearts. And yes, motivation feels good. It is like fire. It burns brightly when it comes. But here's the truth about motivation. It fades. It is temporary. It doesn't last forever. The morning you feel excited to go to the gym, you go. The day you feel motivated to work hard, you give your best. But what happens on the days when motivation doesn't show up? What happens on the mornings when you don't feel like getting out of bed? What happens on the nights when you are tired and your dreams seem too far away? That's where discipline steps in, and that's why discipline is more powerful than motivation. Discipline is not about feelings, it is about commitment. It is about choosing to do the hard thing even when you don't feel like doing it. Think about it. Every successful person you admire is not where they are today because they always felt motivated. They are where they are because they built discipline. An artist doesn't paint only when inspiration strikes. They paint every day until their hands hurt. A student doesn't achieve excellence only by studying when they feel like it. They study when it's hard, when it's boring, and when the world is distracting them. An athlete doesn't win medals by training only on the good days. They train on the tough days, the cold mornings, the painful evenings. That is discipline. Discipline means showing up for your dreams as if they are your duty. It means respecting your goals so much that you refuse to abandon them, no matter how you feel. When you build discipline, you train your mind to lead your body instead of your feelings controlling your actions. And slowly, you realize something magical. Discipline builds habits, and habits build destiny. When you wake up at the same time every morning, even when you don't feel like it, you are programming your brain to know that your dreams matter more than your comfort. When you choose to study instead of scrolling endlessly, you are teaching yourself that your future is more valuable than your distractions. When you keep going to the gym, even on the days your muscles ache, you are proving to yourself that your health is non-negotiable. This is how discipline transforms lives. It doesn't ask for excuses, it demands consistency. Motivation will whisper to you once in a while, but discipline will walk with you every day. Discipline is loyal, reliable, and unshakable. And here's the most beautiful part. When you live with discipline, you don't have to chase motivation anymore. Motivation will come to you. It will follow your discipline. It will be born out of your actions. So remember this: if you want success, don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel inspired. Build discipline. Show up for yourself every single day, because that is the habit that separates dreamers from achievers. Failure is a word that often frightens us, a word that makes many people stop before they even begin. From childhood, we are taught to fear mistakes, to avoid them, to hide them. But the reality is that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every person who has achieved greatness has walked through the doors of failure many times. They have stumbled, they have fallen, and they have broken down. But instead of letting failure define them, they allowed it to refine them. That is the difference. Failure is a teacher, perhaps the most honest one we will ever meet. It strips away our illusions, it shows us our weaknesses, it forces us to see where we must improve. While success fills us with pride, failure humbles us. And humility is a gift because it reminds us that there is always more to learn, always more room to grow. Those who fear failure never try, and those who never try never change. But those who embrace failure as a teacher become unstoppable. Think about this: the child who learns to walk falls countless times before taking that first steady step. Imagine if that child gave up after the first fall, believing they were not meant to walk. Would they ever discover the joy of running? Life works the same way. You will fall, you will fail, but those failures are not dead ends. They are directions pointing you toward growth. Each failure is a message saying, "This way doesn't work, try another." It is guidance, not punishment. Many of us see failure as proof that we are not good enough, but in truth, it is evidence that we are brave enough to try. The people who never fail are usually the people who never take risks. They stay in their comfort zone, safe but stagnant. The ones who succeed are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to quit after failing. They stand up again and again until the world cannot ignore them anymore. Failure also builds resilience. When life knocks you down, when people laugh at your mistakes, when circumstances break your heart, you discover a strength inside you that you never knew existed. That strength is not born in moments of comfort. It is born in moments of pain. The crack in your journey becomes the opening where the light enters. And that light is what guides you forward. So the next time you fail, don't say, "Why me?" Instead, say, "What is this teaching me?" Don't hide your failures. Wear them like badges of honor, because they tell the world that you dared, you tried, and you had the courage to walk a path that others feared to walk. Success will come, but it will come through the door of failure. Remember this. Failure is not the end of your story. It is a chapter. It is the rough draft before the masterpiece. Let failure teach you. Let it strengthen you. Let it shape you. Because in the end, the habit of embracing failure is what transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary journeys. Gratitude and positivity are habits that change the way you see life. And when the way you see life changes, everything around you begins to shift. Most of us are trained to look at what we lack instead of what we have, to focus on what is missing instead of what is present. We keep waiting for something big to happen before we allow ourselves to feel thankful. But gratitude is not about waiting for perfection. It is about appreciating the little things that are already there. The ability to wake up in the morning, to breathe, to see the sunlight, to have even one person who cares about you. These are not small things, they are blessings. Gratitude is the habit of recognizing that even in the middle of chaos, life still offers us reasons to smile. Positivity is not pretending everything is perfect. It is choosing to see hope when everything seems broken. Life will test you, life will hurt you, and there will be days when nothing makes sense. On those days, gratitude becomes your anchor. It grounds you when storms threaten to carry you away. A grateful heart whispers, "This pain will pass, but today I still have reasons to be thankful." And when you carry that habit, your perspective changes. You stop seeing obstacles as curses and start seeing them as challenges that are shaping you. The truth is, negativity is easy. Anyone can complain, anyone can criticize, anyone can focus on problems. But positivity requires courage. It requires a strong heart to say, "Yes, this is difficult, but I will not give up." A positive mindset doesn't deny reality. It simply refuses to let pain take away your power. And when you live with positivity, people around you feel it too. You become a source of light, and in a world full of darkness, light is priceless. Think of the people who inspire you the most. They are not the ones who had an easy life. They are the ones who found reasons to be grateful even when life gave them none. They are the ones who smiled through pain, who shared kindness when they had little to give, who chose hope instead of despair. Their habit of gratitude and positivity didn't erase their struggles, but it gave them strength to overcome them. And that strength is what makes them successful. Science even proves this. When you practice gratitude, your brain rewires itself to focus on possibilities instead of problems. You sleep better, you feel healthier, and your relationships grow stronger. Gratitude multiplies blessings because it shifts your energy from scarcity to abundance. When you focus on what you have begins to grow. So, if you truly want success, Start with gratitude. Begin and end your day by counting your blessings. Smile at the little victories. Stay positive when others choose negativity. Because success is not just about money, titles, or fame. True success is waking up with peace in your heart and hope in your spirit. Gratitude and positivity are the habits that make this possible, and when you nurture them, you create a life that not only looks successful on the outside, but feels successful on the inside. Consistency in small actions is one of the most underrated habits of successful people. We often look at success as a single, grand moment of achievement, a point where everything suddenly changes, but the truth is far from that. Success is never about one big leap. It is about the small, quiet steps taken every single day. It is about doing the little things that no one notices, the ones that seem insignificant in the moment, but when repeated over time, they build the foundation of greatness. The danger most people fall into is waiting for a perfect opportunity, a dramatic turning point, or a miracle that will change their lives. But real change doesn't come from rare miracles. It comes from daily discipline. Think of a drop of water falling on a stone. One drop doesn't make a difference, but years of continuous drops carve the hardest rock. That is the power of small, consistent actions. They may look powerless in the beginning, but their impact is unstoppable when practiced over time. Every skill, every achievement, every dream requires this habit. A writer becomes an author not by writing one great page, but by writing every day, even when the words don't flow easily. A musician doesn't master an instrument by practicing once a month, but by touching it daily, building a relationship with it, one note at a time. An athlete doesn't win medals by training occasionally, but by sweating through thousands of hours of routine practice. Success is not sudden. It is built brick by brick, action by action, day by day. Consistency is also proof of commitment. Anyone can start something with excitement, but only the consistent ones finish what they started. The world is full of people who began journeys but gave up when results didn't come quickly. Success doesn't belong to those who start fast. It belongs to those who keep moving slowly but surely, even when progress feels invisible. The habit of consistency teaches you patience, and patience is the secret ingredient of success. What makes small actions powerful is the way they compound. Just as money grows when invested over time, habits grow when practiced daily. Reading 10 pages of a book each day may not feel like much, but in a year you'll have read several books. Saving a little money regularly may feel too small to matter, but in a few years it can change your financial life. Exercising for 15 minutes may seem insignificant, but in months it can transform your health. Small actions, repeated consistently, create massive outcomes. Consistency also builds trust with yourself. Every time you follow through on a small action, you prove to yourself that your words matter, that your goals matter. This builds confidence. Slowly, you begin to trust your own strength, and that trust is what fuels even bigger achievements. So never underestimate the power of small steps. Don't wait for the perfect time or the perfect plan. Begin today with what you can, no matter how small, because success doesn't happen in a moment. It happens in the moments you commit to, again and again. And when you stay consistent, those small daily actions will eventually paint the masterpiece of your life. Self-belief and resilience are two sides of the same coin, and together they form one of the strongest habits that lead to success. Without self-belief, you will never begin, and without resilience, you will never continue. Success is a long journey filled with uncertainty, setbacks, and challenges, and the only way to keep moving forward is to trust yourself even when the world doesn't, and to rise again even when life knocks you down. Believing in yourself is not arrogance. It is recognizing your worth, your abilities, and your potential. Too often, people wait for validation from others. They want someone to tell them they are capable, someone to assure them they are on the right path. But the truth is, no one else can give you the belief you need. If you don't believe in your own dreams, why should anyone else? Self-belief is the foundation on which everything else is built. It gives you the courage to start, to take risks, and to keep going when the path is unclear. Yet belief alone is not enough. Life will test you. You will face rejection, criticism, and failure. There will be days when everything seems to fall apart, when your confidence shatters, and when quitting feels like the easiest option. That is where resilience comes in. Resilience is the ability to bend but not break, to fall but not stay down, to hurt but not lose hope. It is the strength to whisper, "I will try again," even with tears in your eyes. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It means you won't let pain stop you. Think about the people who have inspired you the most. Their lives are not stories of comfort. They are stories of resilience. They were laughed at, rejected, doubted, and sometimes even broken. But they refused to stay defeated. Their belief in themselves carried them through the darkest nights, and their resilience helped them rise every time they fell. That is what makes them successful, not that they never faced difficulties, but that they never allowed difficulties to define them. When you build the habit of self-belief and resilience, you create an inner shield that protects you from the noise of the world. Criticism doesn't destroy you because you know your worth. Failure doesn't paralyze you because you know it is only temporary. Obstacles don't stop you because you know every obstacle is shaping your strength. Self-belief fuels your vision, and resilience keeps you moving toward it no matter what stands in your way. Remember, the world will always have doubters. There will always be people who tell you that your dream is too big, too unrealistic, or too difficult. But you are not here to live according to their limits. You are here to live according to your own potential. And the only way to unlock that potential is to believe in yourself and to refuse to give up when life gets tough. So, hold on to your belief, nurture your resilience, and remind yourself every single day. Storms may come, but they cannot sink a ship that refuses to stop sailing. That habit alone can turn impossible dreams into undeniable realities. The people you surround yourself with shape the person you become, and this habit alone can determine the direction of your life. Human beings are deeply influenced by their environment, and no matter how strong you think you are, the energy of those around you leaves a mark. If you spend time with people who constantly complain, you will eventually find yourself complaining. If you spend time with people who dream big, work hard, and push forward despite challenges, you will begin to mirror that energy. This is why surrounding yourself with growth-oriented people is one of the most powerful habits you can develop on your journey to success. Growth-oriented people are those who don't settle for mediocrity. They are the ones who are always learning, always evolving, and always seeking to improve themselves. Being around them naturally pushes you to raise your own standards. They don't allow you to stay comfortable in your excuses because their example challenges you to do more. They inspire you to see possibilities where you once saw limitations. And they encourage you to keep going when your motivation runs dry. On the other hand, negative or stagnant people drain your energy. They may not always do it intentionally, but their words, attitudes, and choices weigh you down. They tell you to be realistic, but what they really mean is play small. They tell you not to take risks, not to dream too big, not to step outside your comfort zone, because they themselves are afraid of doing so. If you're not careful, you start to absorb their fear, their doubts, and their limitations. Slowly, without even realizing it, you begin to shrink. That is the silent danger of the wrong company. When you build the habit of choosing the right circle, you surround yourself with people who clap for your wins, who push you when you slow down, and who remind you of your strength when you forget it yourself. These are the people who will tell you the truth, not to break you, but to help you grow. They celebrate your progress, but they also challenge your comfort zone, because they want to see you become your best self. But surrounding yourself with growth-oriented people is not just about receiving, it's also about giving. You must also be someone who lifts others, who inspires growth, who encourages and supports. Success is not just an individual pursuit. It is something that flourishes in communities where people empower one another. When you invest in such relationships, you build a network of strength that no obstacle can easily shake. Life is too short to spend in the wrong company. Protect your energy, protect your vision, and be intentional about who walks beside you on this journey. Seek out mentors, friends, and communities that encourage learning, resilience, and progress. And remember, if you can't find growth-oriented people around you, then become one yourself. Because when you are committed to growth, you will naturally attract others who are walking the same path. Success is not a solo journey. It is deeply connected to the people who influence your mindset and actions. Surround yourself with those who remind you to grow, and your success will not just be possible, it will be inevitable.